Despite being the dominant force in professional wrestling for decades, WWE has repeatedly come close to disaster. From financial turmoil and legal scandals
Look at the names go!
to creative missteps and fierce competition, the company has faced numerous moments where its survival was far from guaranteed. One of the most infamous incidents in WWE history occurred in May 2002, after the European Tour and the Insurrection pay-per-view. WWE had rented a chartered plane to fly its roster and staff back to the U.S. for a 7-hour flight. What should have been a routine trip quickly descended into chaos. With unlimited alcohol on board, several wrestlers became belligerent and reckless. Ric Flair was accused of exposing himself and harassing flight attendants, while Scott Hall was so intoxicated that he had to be carried off the plane and was released the next day. The most alarming moment came when Brock Lesnar and Curt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, got into a physical fight mid-flight. Their brawl escalated to the point where they crashed into the emergency exit door at 30,000 feet, sparking panic among those on board. It took the intervention of Triple H, Fit Finlay, and Paul Heyman to separate them before catastrophe struck. The incident led to multiple lawsuits and several firings. Looking back, if things had escalated just slightly more, the plane ride from hell could have ended in tragedy. Financial instability also threatened WWE's future in 2014 with the launch of the WWE Network. Vince McMahon aimed to capitalize on the streaming boom by launching a subscription-based platform offering 24/7 WWE content, including all pay-per-view events, for $9.99 a month. While revolutionary, the move initially backfired. Pay-per-view sales, a major source of revenue, plummeted, and the network attracted only 495,000 subscribers in its first quarter, far below the 1.3 million needed to break even. Compounding the issue, WWE's new TV deal with NBC Universal underperformed, and the company's stock crashed, wiping out $357 million from McMahon's net worth in a single day. With an $8 million quarterly loss and projected annual losses of up to $45 million, WWE faced one of its most financially unstable periods. Although the network eventually gained traction, its rocky start nearly pushed the company toward bankruptcy. This wasn't the first time a bold gamble nearly sank WWE. In 1985, Vince McMahon risked everything on the first WrestleMania. At that time, WWE was just an emerging promotion. Against advice, McMahon poured millions into marketing, production, and securing celebrities like Muhammad Ali, Mr. T, and Cyndi Lauper. Instead of airing on traditional TV, WrestleMania was shown via closed-circuit broadcasts in theaters across the country. The event's success was far from guaranteed, and had it failed, the financial losses could have collapsed the company. Fortunately, WrestleMania was a smash hit, filling Madison Square Garden and drawing over 1 million viewers nationwide, transforming WWE into a national powerhouse. WWE also faced near collapse in 1996 due to one of the most controversial television segments in its history. Trying to compete with WCW's surging Nitro, WWE began pushing edgier storylines. One such angle featured a feud between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Brian Pillman. In a shocking moment, an injured Pillman was shown on live TV at home holding a loaded gun while waiting for Austin to break in. When Austin kicked down the door, the screen went black, leaving viewers with only the sound of gunshots and screaming. The segment sparked widespread outrage. The USA Network nearly canceled Monday Night Raw altogether. WWE only avoided losing its flagship show after McMahon issued a personal apology and assurances that it wouldn't happen again. Of all the controversies that threatened WWE's existence, none were more damaging than the steroid scandal of the early 1990s. WWE had become synonymous with massive, muscle-bound stars, and rumors of steroid use were rampant. In 1991, Dr. George Zahorian, a ringside physician associated with WWE, was convicted for illegally distributing steroids to wrestlers. This opened the floodgates. Federal prosecutors went after Vince McMahon himself, accusing him of encouraging and facilitating steroid use among his talent. In 1993, McMahon was indicted on charges that could have landed him in prison for over a decade. The 1994 trial was a media circus, with wrestlers like Hulk Hogan testifying. Though Hogan admitted to steroid use, he denied McMahon ever forced anyone to use them. Due to a lack of concrete evidence, McMahon was acquitted on July 23, 1994. While he avoided prison, WWE's public image was badly damaged. At the same time, WWE was also reeling from the fallout of the Ring Boy scandal. During the 1980s and early 90s, WWE employed teenage boys to assist with backstage duties. In 1992, several former Ring Boys accused WWE officials of sexual misconduct. Tom Cole, a former attendant, came forward with allegations against high-ranking employees, including Terry Garvin and Mel Phillips, claiming they exploited young boys in exchange for job opportunities. The scandal exploded in the media. WWE quickly fired Garvin and Phillips. Pat Patterson, who was also implicated, was temporarily removed but later reinstated after no evidence was found against him. The scandal pushed WWE into yet another public relations crisis and left the company teetering on the edge of collapse. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit in 2020, WWE faced another unprecedented crisis. With live events canceled and strict lockdowns in place, the company moved WrestleMania 36 to the Performance Center in Florida, the first WrestleMania to take place without a live audience. This new reality meant the loss of ticket sales, live merchandise revenue, and the touring business. WWE quickly cut costs, announcing a massive wave of releases in April 2020. Dozens of wrestlers, referees, producers, and staff were let go, including Rusev, Zack Ryder, Kurt Angle, Fit Finlay, and the Good Brothers. Creative quality plummeted as well, with questionable storylines dominating the pandemic era, from Goldberg squashing The Fiend to the bizarre eye for an eye match between Seth Rollins and Rey Mysterio. Despite these challenges, WWE managed to stay afloat, though it operated in pure survival mode for much of the year. Each of these moments, whether legal battles, financial disasters, or creative misfires, brought WWE dangerously close to the brink. Yet, time and time again, the company endured, evolving through the chaos and re-emerging stronger, even when all signs pointed to collapse. During some of the most difficult and nearly unwatchable periods in WWE's history, Vince McMahon was simultaneously managing another ambitious project, the relaunch of the XFL. Back in 2001, after already dominating the world of professional wrestling, McMahon set his sights on revolutionizing professional football. The XFL's debut game on February 3, 2001, attracted an incredible 54 million viewers, making it one of the most watched primetime debuts in U.S. television history. Despite the promising start, the league's attempt to mix hard-hitting football with WWE-style theatrics quickly turned fans away. Viewership nosedived, NBC withdrew its support, and the league lost nearly $70 million. By May 2001, just 3 months after its launch, the XFL was forced to shut down. Undeterred, nearly 20 years later, McMahon tried again. To fund this second attempt, he reportedly sold more than $100 million in WWE stock. The new XFL debuted in February 2020 with a solid start, drawing 3.3 million viewers, outperforming any WWE show since late 2019. However, just 5 weeks into the season, the COVID-19 pandemic hit, halting operations indefinitely. With no clear plan for continuation, McMahon filed for bankruptcy in April 2020. The collapse dealt a significant financial blow to both McMahon and WWE. Critics questioned whether the company's resources had been overextended by McMahon's insistence on making the XFL work. Eventually, the league was sold to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and relaunched in 2023. But for McMahon, it was yet another costly misstep. In late 2019, WWE faced a serious international crisis that nearly unraveled one of its most lucrative partnerships. After the Crown Jewel event in Saudi Arabia, a large group of WWE talent and crew were left stranded in Riyadh under mysterious circumstances. The official explanation pointed to mechanical problems with their chartered flight, but conflicting reports quickly emerged. Several sources, including anonymous wrestlers, suggested the delay might have been politically motivated. Rumors pointed to a financial dispute between WWE and the Saudi government, alleging that Saudi officials still owed WWE millions for previous events. In retaliation, McMahon reportedly cut the live broadcast of Crown Jewel in the country, sparking the ire of Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. It was claimed that, in response, he ordered the plane carrying WWE talent to be grounded. Meanwhile, McMahon had already left on a private jet, leaving staff and performers behind for nearly 24 hours. With many stars unavailable, WWE was forced to scramble and air an improvised SmackDown episode using NXT wrestlers. While all talent eventually returned safely, the incident raised serious concerns about WWE's international operations and talent safety. Rewinding to the 1990s, one of the most defining and controversial moments in WWE history was the Montreal Screwjob in 1997. Bret Hart, then the reigning champion, refused to lose his title to Shawn Michaels in front of his home crowd in Canada. McMahon took matters into his own hands, instructing the referee to end the match prematurely and award the title to Michaels. Backstage morale hit rock bottom. Many wrestlers feared for their own job security, reasoning that if McMahon could betray someone like Bret Hart, no one was safe. The Undertaker was so outraged, he demanded McMahon personally apologize. Rising stars like Steve Austin and Edge later admitted they feared the company might not survive the fallout. Despite the turmoil, this infamous moment birthed the on-screen Mr. McMahon persona and set the stage for the Attitude Era, a pivotal shift that ultimately saved WWE from going out of business. In 2007, WWE found itself at the center of another tragedy that had far-reaching consequences: the Benoit family incident. Initially unaware of the circumstances, WWE aired a heartfelt 3-hour tribute to Chris Benoit on Raw. But once it was revealed he had murdered his family and taken his own life, the company quickly erased all references to him. The tragedy sparked a media firestorm. Toxicology reports showed high levels of testosterone in Benoit's system, and the phrase "roid rage" dominated headlines. This tragedy prompted a deeper investigation into WWE's wellness policy, exposing significant flaws. Federal authorities uncovered a large steroid distribution ring linked to Signature Pharmacy in Florida, which had illegally supplied performance-enhancing drugs to athletes, including WWE stars. High-profile names such as Randy Orton, Edge, Booker T, Mr. Kennedy, and Umaga were implicated. Facing potential congressional action and loss of sponsors, WWE implemented sweeping reforms, mass suspensions, policy changes, and an eventual transition to a PG-rated product by 2008. While many fans disliked the toned-down content, it was a necessary step to protect the company's future. The death of Owen Hart in 1999 was another devastating chapter in WWE's history. During a live pay-per-view event, Hart tragically fell to his death due to a harness malfunction while performing a stunt. Rather than cancel the show, WWE controversially chose to continue the broadcast. Viewers at home were informed of the accident, but the live audience was left in the dark. The backlash was intense. Hart's widow, Martha, filed a lawsuit against WWE, accusing them of negligence. The legal battle dragged on before being settled in 2000 with an $18 million payout. Even though the case closed legally, the incident permanently scarred WWE's reputation. Looking back, 1995 stands out as WWE's darkest creative and financial year. The company was still dealing with the aftermath of the steroid scandal, and a strict drug policy had sidelined or pushed out many stars from the 1980s, including Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. Though newer talents like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels were starting to emerge, the main champion at the time, Diesel, failed to connect with fans. Business metrics plummeted. Ticket sales, TV ratings, and pay-per-view buys were all down. Creative decisions, such as pushing King Mabel in a widely panned SummerSlam main event, only deepened WWE's slump. Meanwhile, WCW, bolstered by Ted Turner's financial backing and Eric Bischoff's leadership, was gaining momentum. The company signed away Hogan, Randy Savage, and Lex Luger, giving it instant credibility. In 1995, WCW launched Monday Nitro, airing directly against WWE's Raw. Nitro's slicker production and surprise moments, like Luger appearing just days after performing for WWE, drew fans in quickly. Over the next few years, the Monday Night Wars would rage, with momentum swinging back and forth, but at the time, WWE appeared to be on the ropes. Despite facing disaster after disaster, from botched business ventures and global controversies to tragic losses and public scrutiny, WWE managed to survive. These turbulent times shaped the company's evolution and forced it to adapt,